We're told that history is littered with conflicts, whether it be a war against the French, Spanish, Germans or terrorists. We never seem to go even a few weeks without a mortal enemy threatening our wonderful democracies. But if the vast majority of us simply want to live in peace and harmony with everyone else, then how can this be? If we asked a group of children to describe their friends, they'd use words like fun, sad, friendly, etc. They wouldn't use descriptive words like fat, female, black. This is because racism isn't a natural human instinct. It has to be taught. The world actually looks like this, but they want you to see it like this. If a magician or a confidence trickster wants to pull the wool over your eyes, they both rely on the same method: misdirection. This means that while you're concerned with something seemingly significant, they can use that distraction to pull off their trick. Through their creations, they've ensured that they control every method of persuasion to feed us the view of the world that leads us where they want us to go. They've spent centuries devising and modifying their techniques, where today they enlist psychologists, economists, politicians and military analysts into committees in order to devise ever more efficient ways to control us, and at the same time convince us it's for our benefit. Has it ever occurred to you why the richest, most powerful people in societies buy and control media outlets? They have to relentlessly reinforce the fallacy that human nature is selfishness, cruelty and greed to keep us distracted by blaming a relentless cast of enemies while maintaining their system. We've talked about how this division in corporations isolates management and makes the system easier to control, but it extends to all walks of life. Knowing the intentions of these robots, we have to seriously question every major event in history that we've naively taken for granted. Let's suppose for a moment I wanted to overturn medical teaching with something I called spell theory, where every ailment was treated by having a separate spell spoken over you. Sound ridiculous? Well, if I was the richest, most powerful man in the world, I could do it. I'd destroy any challenge to it, enlist people to compile the medical journals and establish teaching institutions where you could only work in the health industry after qualifying through them. In the early 20th century, industrialist John D. Rockefeller changed holistic practice to germ theory, largely using an unproven idea by Louis Pasteur as his justification. Once the discipline was established, it was as if no other medical practice was feasible, and generations have had it drilled into them. It's been said that the police were created to protect the rich from the poor. They still are. But many people still believe they're here to protect and serve us, when in fact they and the courts are all private corporations tasked with levying fines and other costs from us to make a profit. People wrongly think that slavery was abolished in the 19th century, when in fact it was simply rolled out to us all. We're now all governed by the law of the sea, like Flotsam and Jetsam being fought over by these robot scavengers using their private army. So with a voracious greed, love of ritual and symbols, control of the media, education and the law, they manipulate us with their theatre puppets. Bearing in mind their stated aims, what should we watch out for next?